Welcome to another episode of the Creative Power Hour. I'm your host, Marcus Whitney, and today my guest is the artist, Amanda Valentine.
I was hoping you would say formerly known as and like make up a crazy name.
Well, we haven't caught up. You might have changed your name. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know. Anyway, what's up, homie?
Hi.
How are you?
How's it going?
Good.
Good to see you.
You too. Thanks for coming on the show.
Of course.
All right.
You say, will you do this thing? And I'll say, yeah, I'll do that thing.
It's amazing.
That's how that works.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and after all these years, we haven't seen each other in a minute. I mean, we ran into each other at a bar. You didn't even freaking remember. But, yeah, I didn't feel bad about that at all.
I don't remember. I just am saying tequila. That's all I'm saying.
Tequila to kill you. So we start these shows with an origin story.
Oh, okay.
And I always love it because I never know people's origin stories. I don't know where they're from. I don't know how they got to where they are. Okay. And so usually, like, the show's like an hour, and we usually take like 15 minutes to do that.
Okay.
Go.
Oh, my God. So I was born on a distant planet. Well, basically called Nebraska. Yeah. So born in Lincoln, Nebraska, youngest of 5 children. My dad was a college professor. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. She used to be a teacher, but she was also like, I just like to brag on my mom a little bit. She was a model. She was like a beauty queen. She's like...
In Lincoln, Nebraska?
Well, no.
Okay.
No. Just growing up, like, in her hometown.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
So my parents moved to Nebraska just for a job, just
okay.
for my dad to teach at the University of Nebraska. And, I was the last one. I think they wanted more kids, but then they had me. And they're like, we're cool. Like, super typical. I did grow up Mormon, which I realize now is, like, not typical, but really it's, like, your average white Midwestern Christian upbringing. Like, as white bread as it gets.
Yeah.
Like, people that know me well joke about my taste in food because it's super Midwestern, like super bland. Luckily, I've learned a little bit about flavors, but I'm like, do we have ketchup? Do we have ranch dressing? I'm good. Are there potatoes involved? We're done. Like, so I definitely... Thank God. My dad ended up traveling internationally for work. He stopped being a professor. And he traveled internationally, and he would, like, come home from Hong Kong and, like, Colombia. Like, he would go to the craziest places selling body shop equipment to, like, auto mechanics.
Okay, just quickly, what did he teach?
Oh, he taught Spanish.
He taught Spanish. So
he
got teaching Spanish to sell him body shop equipment.
Yeah, because he could speak every language. So
pretty dope.
He got his PhD from Duke. Let's brag on him for a minute.
Okay, that's serious.
In contemporary Latin American literature and Romance languages. He's a genius. Wow. Genius, probably on the spectrum. A genius.
Love it.
Yeah. So he used that skill and got a great job traveling the world, selling shit to people. And he was even, like, scouted by the CIA once because he seriously can speak every language, or, like, kind of figure out every language.
Yep.
And he's super intelligent and travels
he can
a
sell.
lot, and he can sell, and, like, but he was too, like, loud. He didn't know how to be a wallflower.
Yeah.
He's too, like, when he walks in the room, like, everybody better pay attention. So, like, yeah. So
yeah, you got to do a lot of listening if you're going to do the CIA stuff.
Yeah, he's not doing that. But anyway, at least when he was traveling, he would come home with rolls of film and show us all these pictures and bring home fabrics or, like, wall hangings or all these different things. And I just kind of went, oh, you mean it's not all so boring? I was bored. God bless Nebraska. Great place to grow up. But I was just bored by the time I was 4. I was like, there's got to be more.
What were you doing with your siblings?
I was a loner.
Yeah.
They were all older.
Like, how much older?
Well, not that much older, but
they kind of left you in the dust kind of thing?
Yeah, they were kind of doing their own thing.
Yeah.
So I was in the basement, like, working on my little craft table.
Okay.
Like, and creating outfits and, like, teaching classes and, like, writing magazines and making, like, news shows and, like, just all this weird stuff.
Yeah. Like you were the baby and also so many kids that you were almost like an only kid.
Kind of.
Yeah. Okay.
My brother
and I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got closer as I got older because I wasn't, the baby anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then my brother and I got really into music together, and that's just older than I am. And so that's how we would bond. We would like, we would get records, and we would like play a CD, and we would get records, and we would try and like beat match. We would like fancied ourselves little DJs at like 12 years old. We thought we were so cool, and we would just like sit in our room, and like we had to share a room for a long time, and just like listen to music.
So anthropology is kind of kicking in. So where did you see beat matching in Nebraska?
I have no idea. My parents, even growing up Mormon, people thought like, oh, you couldn't wear makeup, you couldn't dance. That's not Mormons.
Yeah.
And my parents were pretty like socially liberal. So I was watching MTV.
Okay, yeah, so MTV.
And like when MTV was like solid.
When it was the best.
Solid.
When it was the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you had Yo MTV Raps, so like.
Oh, are you kidding?
You could.
So it was
you could
that?
literally learn how hip hop
Absolutely.
worked.
It was that
television.
and like 120 minutes.
Yeah.
So it was like I was getting into the hip hop, and I was getting into like the metal and grunge.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm good. Music is amazing.
Yeah.
This is great.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
I just want to get a little bit more color because, Nebraska.
Yeah, cable TV.
Cable
man.
TV.
God bless, they paid for cable. That was like our big splurge. That was like, you guys have a lot. We got cable.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, don't complain about anything.
So you're down in the basement. You're playing with the patterns. You're making shows. You're beat matching with your brother.
And my oldest brother played in a band.
Okay.
And so they would practice in our basement and leave all their instruments set up. So my brother and I would go down to the basement and just fuck around and I would love to hear what it sounded like, but we just kind of just messed around. It was fun.
Yeah.
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 So doing that, and then, when you're a youngest child, it's all hand-me-downs. I was from a big family, and we didn't have all the money in the world. We weren't, poverty by any means. I'm not trying, but we were a huge family. So it was all like thrift stores and hand-me-downs. So I learned how to, make my shit look cooler and like make it fit me. I swear I was like born this tall, but like 100 pounds lighter. So I just like,
I can't even imagine
just
like
a twig.
Yeah, right.
So I always had to alter stuff and patch things up.
Wow, that's slick.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you couldn't get anything at the store that would fit you, right?
No,
I mean, like
no,
as a female, like that tall, and I'm sure you're super skinny now. So
God bless. Thank you.
So as a child, I'm sure you were like
I was grotesque.
like super thin.
Grotesque.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just learned how to do it. And my mom always sewed. She always made our clothes growing up. My mom always looked like a movie star. And she was buying shit at Salvation Army. And she would the way she would put things together. My dad's the same way. They just always, we're a pretty vain family. We really are, and we like to look nice. Like anytime we went on a plane, it was like, you wear your Sunday best. They will treat you better if you it was real
Yeah.
But so I learned how to put it together for like.
Some families value that.
Yeah, they really do, for better or worse. But it can be good and bad.
Yeah. No. Look, I think it's great. I wish I had more of that. So when do you go from just being like the youngest kid in this family to starting to break out?
Well, I broke out. I sure broke out. I think I struggled with being the youngest child. Like everything had been done, and we're all kind of alpha super achievers in my family, which makes it really hard to do something that hasn't been done before.
Or impress other people, or win the war of the alphas, the unspoken war of the alphas.
Yeah, I'm the quiet, shy one in the family.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it.
Y'all got that? Okay. So it's just a lot, and was it band? Was it choir? Was it, art? Was it like everything had been done, and it was just really difficult. So before I really figured out, I was always making stuff though. I was in like after school pattern making classes in junior high.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was always in the back of my head.
Mm-hmm.
That's just always what I naturally did. But I was just the rebel. I was just like the kids smoking pot.
I was about to say. Like, what does it mean? You were the rebel.
That was me.
Okay.
Nobody
you were getting
else did
high.
that.
You were getting high.
Nobody else did that.
Yeah.
Just like hanging out
As
with
a
older
Mormon.
boys. Just like.
Yeah. Okay. Music.
Screw you, Dad.
Yeah. So what's that like in Lincoln, Nebraska? Like the pot smoking music scene. What's that look like?
White trash. Man. Just like.
Yo, I should not be laughing at that.
Gnarly. Just like. I mean, God bless. Like. You either went one of two ways. Like, you either got it together and you were an artist, or, like, you became a meth head. Like,
oh, no.
I mean, really. Like, yeah.
Oh,
it's really true.
I'm so glad you got it together.
Oh, man. It was touch and go there for a minute. Ooh. Yeah, so I did that for a long time, and I left the Mormon church when I was 14.
Okay.
Which was a problem.
How did you do that? How did you decide at 14, I'm leaving the church?
You know what it was? Again, I thank music. Why am I not a musician? What is going on?
Yeah, you keep bringing up music.
I know. It's so funny.
Did you ever try to be a musician?
Yes.
What happened?
I don't like performing.
Okay. I get that. I get that.
I'm not like that person on stage that's like.
I get that.
I'm just not. It's not.
I mean, because you dress and look like you could be on stage.
Yeah, that's good enough.
Yeah, right? Yeah, as long as
I still got a bass. Yeah. I still like a,
Do you play?
Not really anymore.
Is that like a Nashville not really? Like, because you just don't want anybody here to call you on it? Or like really you don't play anymore?
I haven't been in a band for like 8 or 10 years.
Oh, but you were in bands.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there.
Little rock. It's so weird to talk about myself this much.
We're not even close to getting into it.
Okay, here we go. Okay, what was I talking about?
Well, you were talking about how you survived the rebel stage, and
right,
and how
leaving.
At 14 you decided you were leaving the church. Like, how did you do that? You're not old enough to stake your independence. So how do you decide you're leaving the church at 14?
Punk rock. Discovered this was this is like 95.
Okay.
So this is peak like Riot Girl, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so all the
because 92, 93 grunge had sort of
and I was still young.
Top. Yeah.
And so I was kind of discovering it later.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, all of a sudden there were all these women that I was listening to that didn't care about what they looked like and like were the lead singers, and sometimes the whole band was women, and I was just like, what? And the things they were talking about, and it worked for me. So really I discovered feminism.
Got it.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
And I just did some math in my head and said, I don't think this is going to work for me. And I always wanted to be like a wife and a mom. It wasn't that bothered me.
Yeah.
But I wanted other stuff too. And I wanted other women to feel like they could have other stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know. So I sat my parents down and told them, and it was, they're still waiting for me to come back. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm still waiting for like how they responded. How did they respond? Because this tells me a lot.
They were upset.
They cried. Yeah. They were upset.
Yeah,
did they yell?
Were upset. No.
They didn't yell.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So they ultimately respected.
Absolutely.
Like they were sad, but they ultimately respected your decision.
I think they've realized over the years that having a relationship is more important than that.
That's massive.
Yeah,
how many parents don't get that?
Yeah, no, they get it.
That is huge.
They really, really get it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So 14, you've now left the church.
So
you're basically like out on your own now.
No,
I mean, you're not. I mean, you're still living in the house, but like you're not under the same. You're not running under the same culture as the rest of the family.
No.
Right?
Yeah, which is alienating. But
yeah.
It's, which I think I didn't realize how alienating it was until like 20 years later. Really.
Yeah.
Then I was like, oh, right. I had a therapist that was like, yeah, you lost your tribe.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, oh, that's kind of a thing.
Yeah, to me, that's like a massive thing.
Yeah,
right?
but I was like, no, everything's fine. We still have a relationship. Like, everything's fine.
Right. I still live here. We'll still eat. We'll hang out, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, no, you've basically gone a different route. Okay.
Weird. But anyway, so I got through, went to college.
Yeah? Where'd you go to college?
University of Nebraska. State College, I to pay for school, I had to work full time the whole time I was in school. So I couldn't go to like a, fancy design school or any of that.
Yeah.
So I was a janitor. Which actually, my dad was a janitor.
That's amazing.
When he was getting his PhD.
That's amazing.
And I was like, oh my gosh, it's like the family legacy.
The most respect in the world. That's amazing.
So I worked at this hotel, and I was really just friends with the manager of the housekeeping department. And she was like, I'll give you 40 hours a week. I was like, sold. Yeah. And so could graduate with no debt. And
dope.
Yeah.
Okay, you graduate.
So then I go, what am I going to do? And at this time, my brother had already won an Ernie Ball Battle of the Bands competition with his Nebraska band.
We're so far into this story, and we're still only talking about music, and we haven't gotten to fashion yet at all. This is fantastic. Okay,
I know,
yeah.
because I
No.
didn't know.
This is great. I mean, I'm assuming you didn't know that a fashion industry even really existed, right?
No.
I mean, you're in Nebraska.
No,
How could you even know?
And when I graduated, I didn't want to move to New York because I knew that New York would just eat me alive.
Yeah.
Like I knew that.
Yeah. Okay.
Know
Yeah,
thyself.
right.
Like I knew I couldn't handle it.
Yep.
And I also my friends went and did that, and they just went and worked for designers. And they're like, yeah, maybe in like 10 to 16 years, I can be a designer at this company. And I was like, oh, that sounds
10
lame.
to 16 years.
And my dad, just watching him go through so many jobs, he was just like, man, working for somebody else, man. It just broke him down.
Yeah.
And I think about all the things he could have done if he would have been on his own. And so he drilled into my head, do not spend your life building someone else's empire.
Wow.
And I was like,
gift.
Got it.
I'm going to tell you what you already know and what you proclaimed early on, but you have amazing parents.
Oh, they're killer.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
this
they're
is
killer.
like they're giving you the best.
Oh, they did great.
The best.
Yeah, they let us do whatever we're all super different.
Yeah.
I mean, really, we're all the same, but we're all into very different things. And they said, yeah, whatever you want to do, just like if you're going to do it, like be really good at it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like take the classes, just do it after school, do it before school, like do it. Yeah.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was cool. So I just saw my friends do that, and I just thought, I think I just would rather figure out a new weird path.
Okay.
So luckily, and this is all thanks to my brother. So my brother moved out with his Nebraska band, won $25,000 from Ernie Ball. They move out to Los Angeles.
Battle of the Bands.
Yeah.
Okay.
They move out there. They're playing shows. My brother plays a show with Cara's Flowers, which is everybody in Maroon 5 except my brother before my brother joined. They were called Cara's Flowers.
Up.
So they play a show, and Adam sees my brother play guitar, and he's brilliant.
Yeah.
He's a brilliant guitar player.
Uh-huh.
Anybody will say that. Like, he really is.
Uh-huh.
And Adam sees him play and is like, you're going to be in my band. And he was like, hey, we're going to do this whole new thing, and you've got to be a part of it. Because my brother brings this kind of like, he's like jazz trained.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's this super like fusion-y, theory heavy, like nerdy guitar.
Yeah, math.
And yeah. And they were super poppy, and they needed like some funk.
You
know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So I'd like to think that it's my brother that brought that. So anyway, so he joins this band. They're filming their first music video.
Oh my God,
and he's
this is
like,
incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing how it all worked. And he's like, listen, here's what you're gonna do. He's like, you're gonna move to LA. You're gonna live with me, and I want you to work on this music video, assist the stylist, and like see what you think.
Okay.
I mean, he basically told me what I was going to do
Yep.
for a living. But
hold on. Are they signed?
Yes, they had actually, I mean, they were still touring in a van.
Okay.
This was.
I'm wondering because if they're signed back then, the label was paying for video budgets, right? Because
I think they maybe were on their first like little tiny baby deal.
Okay.
And so it was like super small budget.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
I mean,
got it.
I didn't get paid.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I'm just trying to kind of understand.
No,
You're going
this
to come
is
out and be a stylist or assistant stylist.
Assistant,
what does
yeah.
that? What does that mean, right?
Well, yeah, this was just meant I worked for free.
Okay. Okay.
And like for the first few months I lived there, I lived in an apartment with James and Adam. Slept on their couch, and it's like it's the apartment that they were on MTV Cribs, and it's like that apartment, and I want to be like, what y'all don't know is that little sister was sleeping on the couch. Like, it's so funny to look back at that, where it's like, this is our crib, and I'm like, this tiny ass, whatever. Anyway, it's so funny to look back at. So, so their stylist dropped me off at Warner Brothers Costume House, which is just basically like 2 airplane hangars full of clothes, and said like, this is the vibe. I want this kind of thing. Like, I'll pick you up in 5 hours. And I was like, cool. So I shopped it. I did my first shop. And this is before like people knew what stylists were. This is before like Rachel Zoe, before style blogs, this is way before all that. So I didn't really know what a stylist did.
Yeah.
We didn't learn about it in college.
Right.
But it was like.
So how did you know how to shop? First of all, my listeners do not know what it means when you say I shopped it. So what is?
So I picked out outfits.
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally it.
Yep.
That's really it.
Yeah.
She just said, this is the vibe. This is, and I just said, okay. And here are the sizes, and I'd get lots of options, and so I just put together some outfits.
How'd you do?
Great. Yeah. I mean, it was great.
Did you know, like, as you were shopping, like, as you're pulling things off the rack, you're like, wow.
Yeah, and
I'm good at this.
All I knew is that I loved it.
Uh-huh.
I loved it.
Uh-huh.
Because it just felt like what I had been doing in my spare time my entire life.
Yeah.
Like putting together looks. Like I, would dress up my friends and have fashion shows. And I was like, okay, great, I'm sold. So I just basically started assisting like anyone who would have me. I made up my own like apprenticeship, because there's no course, nobody's going to tell you how to do it. So I went to a local agency and I was like, hey, I know everybody already has their assistants, but whenever people need like a second and third assistant, I'm your girl. And I know how to sew, which nobody knows how to sew anymore. Nobody. And they were like, oh, cool. So I was like, hey, I can do alterations on site. So like I was selling myself.
Selling.
I was like, what's
That's
my
amazing.
And this is, my mom taught me this. She's like, you always have to, in any situation, like, how do you make yourself like indispensable?
Yes.
Like, what's the thing you can offer that they like have to have you? You know what I mean? Good. I know. Great parents.
Great parents, and also people don't get that anymore. People think like they're worth some arbitrary number. No, you're not.
Your worth is just not inherent.
No. No. And
I'm
everyone was trying to figure out
I know
how to
what
not pay you.
Sunday school told you, but
Yeah, you are not worth. Yeah, I mean, in God's eyes, you're worth everything.
Right,
There
right.
there is no dollar amount in God's eyes.
I'm just saying.
But
in the
workforce,
No. Nope. You got to show them. You got to tell them. You got to.
Yes.
You got to prove it.
So this is amazing. So you go in and you say, I'm not looking for status, but I can be crazy useful.
Yeah. I just wanted to see how it was done.
Yeah.
I just wanted to learn like so I just watched every like invoicing and like, okay, how's she doing that? And like,
wow.
Okay, what's she doing on set? Okay, what's in her bag? I was just like, yeah. So, yeah, then I became a stylist.
Come on. No. Okay. So,
Yeah.
We're so close. So you're doing this like second, third assisting. By the way, can you say what agency it was that you were working for?
Oh, it was Margaret Maldonado, I think.
Okay.
In LA.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how old are you at this point?
I was probably, let's see, 23, 24.
23, 24.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
College graduated.
Yeah.
Hanging out with older brother.
Yeah.
And soon to be fucking Maroon 5. But nobody knows yet.
I know. Well, no. They changed their name. This first video was Maroon 5. And then it like.
So you're there doing the assistant styling for early
Maroon 5's very first music
Maroon
video.
5's very first music video. Okay. I just want to make sure like we're
crazy?
documenting.
Yeah.
That's fucking nuts.
I mean, he's my brother. I mean, you
yeah.
know, so it's like,
so
but
what?
it's
to everyone
cool.
else in the world, that's like.
Oh yeah,
The dude is on TV nonstop.
Yeah.
Whether it's for his own show or the Super Bowl or whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's
okay.
very cool.
Okay,
It's
so
very cool.
So how do you break out of just being your brother's little sister and like starting? I mean, when I met you were already a thing. So there's obviously some distance between that. First of all, I didn't meet you in LA. I met you in Nashville. Right. So like, talk me through that.
I had to leave LA. Yeah,
Because you couldn't get out from under.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was always, well, really it was personal too. Like I was part of Maroon 5's entourage. I went to everything. I went to every club they went to. I went to every party. I went to every, and my friends that live out there now say it's still the same way. It's so hard to make friends in LA.
Yeah.
And all my friends were my brother's friends. And it felt lame. It just felt lame.
Yeah, I feel you.
And I wasn't really, it just felt lame.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it was like they could have a lifestyle that made sense as they got bigger and bigger, but it's like it felt so posery for like me to be living that same lifestyle when really I was like just broke trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah.
And I'm
But
just
that's great. I mean, that's super self-aware of you to not like,
yeah.
because you're in the entourage, somehow trick yourself into thinking like
No,
that's yours.
I felt like a loser.
Yeah.
None of
Okay.
it was mine.
All right.
I didn't.
That's
feel-
great. That's the healthy way to think about it.
Yeah.
Honestly.
So I left LA. Yeah. And
Okay.
I came to Nashville.
And why'd you come to Nashville? Music again?
Dude, why else?
Yes. Yes.
And it was a friend of my brother's. God bless. My brother dated a lot of his friends. But he was moving out to Nashville, and I visited. I was like, no, I'm going to stay in LA. I visited like twice and was like, will I still like this place if we break up? Yep. Okay. Yep. That was like, could I still handle it? Yeah.
What year was this?
This was 2006.
2006. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy.
Nashville hadn't popped yet.
No, not at all.
At all.
No, that's what I liked about it.
Yeah, it hadn't popped
I
yet.
really liked that.
Yeah.
I really, really liked that.
Yeah, I moved to the East Side 2008.
Oh shit, you were an early adopter, man.
Yeah.
We lived in Spring Hill for a while, and then I was in the East about 2008.
Yeah, no, we met here in 2008.
Oh. Damn.
Yeah, I know.
What is it, 2019?
Happy 11-year
oh my gosh, it's our
friendiversary.
friendiversary.
I know.
Oh.
I know. Yeah.
Where's my cake?
Jacob and everybody at Three Crow. And
Yes,
yes,
it has been.
Right.
Oh, do you remember those days?
Barely.
Ooh.
Barely.
Like, what? We just thought we were going to live forever. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, those were fun days.
Those were really fun.
Those were fun days. So, okay, so
innocent.
you moved here in 2006. You were in Spring Hill, and then 2008 you came out to Eastie.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I'm here. Actually, when my ex-boyfriend and I were looking at houses, we were driving around Laughlin Springs, just like, oh my God. And I said 11 years ago or whatever, I was like, someday, man, someday I'm going to live in this nice ass neighborhood someday. And now that's where I live.
Did it.
Yeah, I did it.
So what are you doing here in 2007? Let's just talk about 2008. Like,
Yeah.
let's skip you moved here piece. 2008, you're here, and when I meet you, I don't know. I mean, you're a stylist, but I
wasn't.
Yeah,
I kind of. It took me a few years to get back into styling.
yeah, I was
'Cause
about to say when I
yeah.
met you, I don't feel like that was
No.
the thing.
No, because I didn't know. I didn't really meet people and know how
Were
to
you
do
working
it.
at a clothing store?
So I co-owned a clothing
Co-owned
store.
a clothing store. Yes.
So I bought into I was like, okay, if I'm going to come here and do something, I got to like do something.
Yes.
So I bought into Local Honey
Yes.
back in the day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and Shay had already had it for a long time. So nobody really realized that I owned it, which was fine. But yeah, so I did that for a while. Because
Okay.
I said I want to have a store where I can sell my own stuff.
Yep.
And be able to stock it as much as, So that was kind of me getting into making stuff again.
Okay.
And then we started, putting on little punk rock fashion shows with like Billy Gemmell and
Yeah.
Patrick Weber and
Yep.
Naked Without Us. And
Yep.
we put on these amazing shows that would like sell out exit in. We never made a dime, but they were like the thing.
Yeah, but they were starting to really drive culture. I mean, Naked Without Us, that
Dude.
Yeah.
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 That was, yeah, we did that for years. We did that for like several years.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, every like couple years, Billy's like, "Should we do that again?" And I'm like, "God, no! It was so hard." Who knows? Maybe someday we'll have like the 20th. Oh God, that's sad. 20th year
it's
reunion.
coming.
It's
You're gonna blink. It's coming.
I know.
It's coming.
Oh my gosh.
It's coming. I know. I'm trying to take care of myself so I don't look like totally terrible by then.
Hey, no shame in Botox, ladies.
I did get offered some Botox recently, and I didn't know what to think of that.
You don't need
yeah.
it. You don't need it.
Yeah.
It's-
Okay, so so Valentine.
Yeah. So that was what I originally called my clothing line.
Yes.
That's actually the name of my Danish ancestor that came to America.
Okay. So was
Like
was
a
that the inspiration, or were you?
Yeah, that was it. My brother and I always kind of use the name. I think his production company is called Valentine.
Oh.
Like we always just
Boy,
kind of.
you and your brother.
No, I know. Someday, my brother and I are going to. We've been talking about it for literally 25 years. We're gonna do a band together called Valentine. Like we have the art all planned out. Like,
I mean, you and him are definitely
yeah.
two sides of the same coin. I mean,
Yeah. And we
That's
we
clear.
look alike too. Which
Really?
Is, yeah. People always think we're twins. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
was he close to you in age?
Yeah, he's just 2 years older.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's 40. Yeah.
So here's what I remember. I remember you owned the store,
Yeah.
and then I remember Valentine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I remember you were like, "Oh, I'm going to be on TV."
Yeah.
So let's not get to the TV yet. Let's talk about Valentine because that's like, I mean, first of all, I'm not giving you credit. You come here, you decide you're going to buy into a store. So did you feel like you had really been entrepreneurial before this store, or was this
No.
this was like your first foray
this
into
was
business,
kinda
right?
it. I had sold things on Etsy for years.
Yeah.
But that's
throwing stuff on a website.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So this was, and I really credit Shay had, been running it for a year or two at least before. So she like taught me about paying taxes and taught me about this and taught me, and taught me how to, wire a lamp and like just all this stuff. She really like, cause we did all of it, kind of renovated a place and like, this is how you break down a wall and like, so that was really cool to learn all of that. Yeah. I didn't know that before.
Cool.
Yeah.
And so like, why did you decide that you wanted to come out with your own line?
I just always knew I would.
Because you were it was just like,
yeah. I just was waiting for the time and the space and the like vehicle to, yeah, I just always knew I would.
So did the different shows that you were doing, did that like give you the confidence that, oh, I can like create my own unique limited edition line and
yeah.
And it would go.
Yeah, and honestly, just being around other people that were doing that and seeing how they did it, and like, oh yeah, we can make this collection and we can sell it.
Who were you around that was doing it?
Like Shay, and there's a lot of people that aren't doing it anymore. I'm trying to think of who else. Like Jamie and the Jones is still around.
Okay,
they were around early. People like Art isn't around anymore. Like T-shirt companies. Yeah, people kind of get in because they think they want to do fashion because fashion's like super cool. Yeah, it's not.
It's so fucking hard. It's so hard.
It's like having a restaurant. It's like you're probably going to fail.
Music business.
Yeah.
Food business, fashion.
Yeah.
They all are super sexy. They are miserable.
They're horrifying.
They're so bad.
But we all like have to do them.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get in and it goes pretty well, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not making any money. I mean, it's just people, we get some write-ups in the scene, and that's pretty cool. And the thing, when I was in LA, I felt very anonymous, and I was kind of looking around at all these other like designer/stylists in their mid-20s, and they all had trust funds. Honestly, and they all looked like supermodels and like had all this free time.
Oh, boy.
And I was just like, where am I? And how am I ever gonna, I was like, what's my edge with this? Because I could figure it out and I could be a hard worker and I could do that. But I was like, how am I ever gonna have an audience? How am I ever, And so the decision to be a big fish in a small pond was very intentional. And I like to be honest about it.
Not because I'm hating on kids who have trust funds, because everyone is born into like their
wish-
reality. It
I
is
wish
what
I
it is.
had one.
And they have their lives aren't all roses because like they have to try to find.
Absolutely.
But I wish there was a site that you could go to that just shows you all the people that you think are self-made that actually had all the money to start with. Because that shit is so tricky. It's so tricky. They change names, they do this, they do that, and then like you find out, oh, you had like all. When I say all the money, I mean you had all the money. Literally, there's nothing you could have done that wouldn't have been successful. Anyway,
Because
I sound
you
like a
can
hater
just-
right now.
Because
I'm
you
not
can
trying to
just
be a
dump
hater.
money into it, but
It's more about it confusing me.
Yes,
Like when I
yes.
see somebody and I'm like, how the fuck did they do X, Y, Z? And then the answer is they just had all the resources.
and with fashion brands, it's shocking.
Yeah, how often
It's
that's
like
the case.
95%.
Right.
It's really ridiculous. And yeah, I mean, I think that's just another reason, like, never compare yourself. Never compare yourself. Never compare. Because that's oftentimes the case.
Yes.
Like, how could they, why are they always on vacation?
Right.
Like,
Yeah, here's how.
here's how.
Here's how.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is play business.
Like, I drove 4 hours away for like 2 days last weekend, and I'm like, I'm a fucking Rockefeller. I'm living large. Like, you know, like $2 super, 2 days super cheap vacation. I'm like, we're going to the Cracker Barrel. Like,
I love it. That is so my life right now. That's so my life. I'm trying to book a cabin for like $60 a night, and I'm
Yes.
just feeling like a boss.
You can
I
find
feel
them.
like a boss.
that whole cabin, though, that's like,
The whole cabin.
oh, that's luxurious.
There's a new app called Hip Camp where like
Oh, really?
where it's like, as you would imagine, hip camping experiences.
I'm not trying
glamping.
to camp. I'm not trying
this
to.
whole. No, but it's like, look, it's like you feel like you're out in nature, but you're actually away from the bugs.
I got
It's
a
like,
shower.
you
I
know-
got a whirlpool. I got a.
No. There's gonna be a shower
Okay.
and a hot tub.
I got walls.
Glamping.
Okay.
You need to Google it. It's a thing. It's a thing.
Just thinking about it makes me just a little. Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
then you got fancy. Then you got fancy on all of us. You used to just hang out with us in East Nashville, and then one day you got real fancy, Amanda.
I am hanging out in East Nashville every night of the week.
You got real fancy.
No, I didn't get fancy.
No,
I just
I'm just joking.
disappeared.
Yeah, you disappeared.
I just disappeared.
So how did you like? What happened? How did you end
Okay,
up on this show
so-
and then become like the recurring?
Oh yeah. Well, it's because I'm easy to work with.
For
That's
anyone who
why.
hasn't heard it yet, you're going to hear it on the intro. But if you're just tuning in, Amanda was on Project Runway seasons
11
and
13
and
All Stars.
All Stars.
But I can't remember what season.
Okay. So 3 seasons of
5?
Project Runway. I don't remember.
That's so stupid. I'm not even trying to.
I've
be funny
only ever
about it.
watched the show to see you on it.
5?
Like legit, I've only ever watched the show to see you
Yeah,
on it.
man.
That's it.
I like
That's
that.
it. Just be like, yo.
Be like, that's so weird.
The first
What
one
did you-"
especially, because the first one you're just kind of like
I was
deer in the
frozen.
headlights.
I was
You're just
so
like
frozen. I know. I just tell
every
people,
challenge. You're just like,
what am I gonna do? I tell people just don't watch 11. Just watch 13. I'm cool. I'm cool.
You
on
are so
13.
cool on
I'm
13.
Super cool on 13.
It's a big
I'm
difference.
myself.
it's a big difference.
But
So first let's talk about how you got on, and then we'll talk about what it's like to be on a show and how life changes. By the way, also very interestingly, I think the timing is such that you are on these shows, like we're talking about Project Runway season 11, but it's also when like social media is starting to become a
absolutely.
thing. Like, you know,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's, which is very, very different, right?
yeah. That.
Let's first cover how you got on the show. How did
Okay,
you get on the show?
So, because of all those shows that we did and all the write-ups we would
Exit
get,
in, Nashville scene, all that stuff,
So
yeah.
because of that, there were a bunch of us designers that Project Runway casting directors, they contacted all of us. Because they Google like Nashville designers just looking for people to apply. So like a bunch of us got contacted.
Got it.
And we were all like, should we do it? Yeah, let's do it. Okay. So I can't remember that first time around. I think I made it to, did I make it to Atlanta? I can't remember. You like fill out all this stuff. I don't think I did. You fill out all this stuff and then you go on a call in person. And then if you make it another round, then you have a sit down interview the next day. There's this whole process. Anyway, I can't remember. You have to like drug test. You have to have a psychological, like,
That's
personality test. You have to talk to a therapist. Like,
that's nice to know.
Yeah, absolutely. Which I passed. Mom.
Obviously.
Yeah, thank goodness. Whew. So I think I tried out twice and didn't make it. I can't even remember. I think the first year I made it to like the first interview, and then the second year I like made it to the second interview, and then I skipped a year because I was getting married. I remember, and I was like, I don't want to.
Yeah,
This is.
we're not blending
I'm
those
not.
two things.
Yeah, I'm not doing.
We're not
this.
blending those two
I'm not
things.
gonna. Yeah. And then the next year, I had kind of given up on it. I was like, you know what, that's not my thing. I don't
Yeah.
want to be on TV. Like,
Right.
I quit playing music because I don't want to be on stage.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Right. Yep.
And then my ex-husband Will was like, you know what? I don't know. I just feel like you should try. We were at Edgefield.
One more time.
I will give my ex-husband this.
Yeah.
He told me, we're playing darts at Edgefield.
Uh-huh.
I probably had a couple beers because I agreed to it. And he was like, I think you should try out one more time. I think this is your year. I think you should do it. So I think I sent an email that night. I think I drunk texted the casting director.
I mean, the number of drunk texts and emails sent from East Nashville, it's just like...
I mean, and so Monday morning got a call and I was like, oh shit. And they said, hey, like, we've been following you. You've auditioned before. We know all your stuff. Like, did they even say come to Atlanta? I think I got to skip a bunch. Yeah, I think I just went to like the final interview. They were like, we know who you are, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And it went really well. And they said, this is kind of interesting. They said before that a lot of the times I didn't get on was because like my hairstyle was too similar, or like there were too many white girls, or like there were too many,
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you start realizing that like
Yeah.
casting is not about you.
Oh, no,
it's
no.
About,
it's a puzzle.
Yeah.
Just so that everybody is an individual and like everybody can stand out. And so when I got
exactly
cast,
right.
they were like,
and oh, by the way, you're not a snowflake. Right. You have a type.
oh, right. So like when I was first on, it was like the short black bangs and black hair. So when I tried out, they were like, hey, you're blonde right now. Stay blonde. Go a little blonder. And I was like, oh, weird.
Yeah.
They were like, you're the blonde.
You're the blonde.
And I was like, oh, got it. Yeah, so I got on.
And
Just a horrible season. horrible all teams challenge. Oh, yeah, it sucked. It was horrible.
would the producers agree?
Yeah, it did not do well. Like they will never. That like the ratings showed. Like people don't want to. Like no, it didn't work.
Yeah.
All team challenges. Like no.
So what happened for you coming out of that though? I mean, I feel like Nashville just thought.
No,
like,
it was great.
Yeah, it was great for you personally, right?
Yeah, I mean everything really did explode, and like I just
because the city hadn't gotten like.
Yeah.
The city hadn't popped yet. So,
Yeah.
for something like that to happen, it was like, whoa!
I was still special.
One of us?
Like
That's
now
crazy.
it's like,
Yeah.
if it happened now, it'd be
Oh,
different.
now it would be...
It'd be different.
That's just like every day, right? Somebody from here is on a show, or we're creating a new show, or
Absolutely.
whatever. But
Yeah.
but back then, it was a thing. It was
Yeah.
2009 or 10?
Oh, that's a great question. It was, 2011
11?
or 12?
Even later, 11.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because, yeah.
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 Yep. Okay. All right. So you get off of that.
Yeah.
And then you're
I have a business.
You have a business,
Yeah.
and you're like really like so we said before the show we were going to talk about the employees. So like you start building
Yeah.
a company,
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
and it's your own line.
Yeah.
Plus
yeah.
the styling.
No, the styling is separate. I still actually do my taxes separately.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's a whole separate business. And honestly, when the clothing line is really busy, like the styling goes away. And if the styling's really busy, the clothing business goes away. That's just kind of how it is. So I unfortunately, or fortunately, like kind of lost my styling clients for a while because of the show. Like,
Okay.
so that was kind of the negative is nobody saw me as a stylist anymore.
I sure didn't.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
And so I would run
You were
into
for sure a
producers and they
designer.
were like, man, I wish you were still working on shoots. Like I've got, and I'm like, oh, no, I am. So everybody, yeah. So
Yeah.
that kind of jacked up my career I mean, not jacked it up.
Yeah,
but
but it
just,
sent you in one
yes.
direction.
Yeah.
Wow,
Which-
that's super interesting. I never really thought about that, but
yeah, it took a while to repair.
People can't like they can't orient themselves to multiple.
And even now, I mean, right now, I'm mainly styling.
Yeah.
It always ends up, I try so hard to keep a balance, and it always ends up like something always happens that.
Are like is this a reality of the fashion world that people on the outside just don't know, that there are a great many designers who also do styling, and like this is a pretty normal thing, or is this sort of your?
I actually know, now that I'm thinking about it, I know a few. I actually kind of know a few designers that do the same thing.
Okay.
Or dabble, at least. So I guess it's not that uncommon, because I could think of a few people, even a lot from Project Runway.
Really?
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, that do both.
It's an interesting.
Yeah.
It's an interesting problem to be in, because I don't think the outside world thinks those two things ever come together.
Well, there's slow periods for both.
Yeah.
And that's a way to
Keep
deal
it,
with it.
yeah, to deal with the seasonality of it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's talk about the designing thing, because you build up a team. Like, how many employees do you end up having?
Well, no, the most I ever had was like 3.
That's still,
Yeah.
and they all report to you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have three employees.
Yeah.
Does-
I mean, it was
does that,
always
Does that mean you have a
changing.
design house?
I've always had a studio. Yeah.
So
except now. Now I don't.
Now you
anymore.
don't.
I'm working. Well, I've converted my house. I didn't want to say working from home, because I've taken it over. Yeah, for the first time in 10 years or something. Yeah.
So you operated a design house.
Yes. Yeah. I guess I did.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you all the credit.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I won't.
And-
Good Midwestern girl. I'm like.
And who are you selling your line to, and what shows are you doing? Like what does this even look like?
So I kind of got into a groove of, I mean, it's Project Runway fans, honestly.
Yeah.
Or it's Maroon 5 fans.
Okay.
Or it's like my followers are either know me from Project Runway, know me as my brother's little sister, honestly.
Okay.
Or know me as 21 Pilots stylist.
Okay.
They have an incredible fan base.
Okay.
I feel like those are like my...
The 3 buckets of the
Yeah.
Amanda
That's who
Valentine fan
follows
club.
me.
Got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Got
yeah.
it. Okay.
So I just started doing, I mean, what's cool when I was just off the shows, and I still get a little bit of it, is, you can do these appearances and you can do these speaking engagements, and I got on this circuit of kind of regional fashion shows where, they'd have a Project Runway designer come do a show, and it was great. It kept me accountable for making collections every season.
Yep.
Which is, making collections is kind of pointless and expensive and dumb. But for most small
it
designers,
looks like the thing to do.
yeah, but like why? Anyway, but at least if I was
why?
doing these shows, like I had a reason to do it, and and now it's cool. On my website I have like every season. I look back and I'm like, damn, that is so much work.
A body of
And
work.
like,
yeah.
it's
I love
cool.
it. Yeah.
It's super cool though.
It is super cool.
Yeah, and I took some time off, but I actually just had a phone call today. Like I'm gonna go out to San Francisco and do a show with a bunch of other Project Runway designers, and
See, that's amazing.
and which is just fun because it's an excuse for a bunch of us to like get
together.
and
Yeah.
just like get drunk and like share war stories, which is cool. Yeah. So it'll be fun.
How have you balanced work life and even more than personal life, like yourself?
Yeah. I never have. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but but it's kind of happening this year.
Good.
I think this year I'm figuring it out.
Good.
Yeah.
You're still super young. I mean, you've got
Young.
you got a lot of time.
Maybe
to
we
figure
should
it out.
don't say super young. Maybe we
You're,
just
you're pretty young. You're fairly young.
fairly. No, I think I finally just kind of shut down. My health suffered. I lost a marriage, I think, in part because of that.
It's all connected.
Yeah,
there's
it
no
really
way
is.
to there's no way to put it in a box
Yeah.
and say it didn't play a factor, right?
No, I mean, I absolutely did. Yeah, so it was like health and relationships, everything kind of was just melting, And so it's been nice I've just taken the pressure off myself.
Great.
And like, I'm not trying to prove anything anymore.
Amazing.
And now I'm like, what do I want to do?
Yeah.
Like, what do I want to do with my life?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm right in the middle of that.
So good.
Yeah.
They're not trying to prove anything.
Yeah.
It is the best
It feels
feeling
great.
in the world.
I think it comes with age a little bit.
So I think it's a combination of age and looking up and realizing you could have never told me at this age I would have done these things, right? And so just kind of realizing, dude, you've already done it. Like you've already done it.
I know
there's
that's hard
nothing...
for me to do. It just feels so like it just feels so full of myself. So the only way I can think of it and be comfortable is what would 14-year-old Amanda think about it?
I love that.
That's the only way I can be like, oh yeah, she'd be stoked. That's the only way I can think about it without feeling like a egomaniac.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Yeah, same. Yeah,
Like,
I mean, that's really what I'm saying is as a kid, if you would have told me I would have done any one of the things I've done in the last 15 years, that dude would have been so stoked and so proud.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is wrong with you? Like what are you reaching for? Are you like
I just get to go do a fashion show with my friends.
It's
like,
ridiculous.
you asshole, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's ridiculous.
yeah.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
So-
I'll remember that.
Yeah.
Fine.
So what are you thinking about these days? What's
I'm thinking about my dogs. I'm thinking about fixing up a 100-year-old house. And I'm thinking about the next collection, which, don't laugh,
why?
is going to be...
You just told me.
Well, I think it's going to be bridal.
Okay.
Which
Why?
Well, at first I thought it was funny to do a bridal collection after you get divorced. And that was me being just like,
Yeah.
punk
Right.
rock,
Right.
like,
Right.
bleh. And now I'm like, wait a minute. Now it's kind of, and I've sat on it for a while and I was like, yeah, I think I want to do that. I think I want to do it. Now it's taken a different spin where I'm like, you know what? But like, what about second marriages? And like, what about women that, first of all, didn't feel comfortable in a wedding dress in the first place? Because
Yeah.
it's not them.
Yep.
But like, and I'm talking about myself. That's what
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm talking about myself, who never wanted to be a princess, never thought about my wedding, never, But like, for me to get married again, it's like there's even more of like this awkwardness on it for me.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, what do these women get? And there's a lot of me.
Yeah.
There are a lot of women like me out there. So I'm like, well, what do we want to wear? So that's what I'm thinking about. And
That's amazing.
It's coming from a cool place.
That's
now.
coming from a great
It was
place.
coming from a real like punk rock, like, isn't this funny? Like, and now it's coming from a real place of like, no, but seriously, like, what would I wear if I got married?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm
I
thinking
love
about.
that. I love that.
Yeah.
That's
I'm going to give it a whirl.
that's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. I'll keep an eye out for it.
Okay.
So
I'll send you a free sample.
That'd be great. You don't want me to be
Send you a
modeling.
dress.
You don't want me to model it though.
I might.
I don't think I have the right shape for it. So what do you think you now have such clarity on that at the beginning of this journey? And let's just talk about like when you first moved to Nashville. You know, what is the thing now that you're super clear on that back then you just were completely oblivious to? And it might just be an age thing, right? But like what have you really picked up?
I think, and I credit the show with teaching me this because I was forced to learn it. But I think as artists, like, are just as makers of anything, not just as anyone who creates anything.
Yep.
Words, like anything.
Yes.
I just think you really have to respect the fact that I'm going to stop and start sentences
That's
1,000
okay.
times.
It's totally
I'm a
cool.
Gemini. This is how we talk. So I think for a long time I just thought, what do I have to offer this, girl from Nebraska who had, this kind of upbringing? I think I always felt a kind of, I'm not a tortured artist. I'm not you know what I mean?
Yes.
What do I really have?
Yes.
What experience? What, turmoil? What
What
do I
qualifies
really
me?
have? Yeah, what qualifies me to say shit about anything?
Right.
But it's just my brain is different than everyone else's brain.
Yeah.
The way that I digested, growing up and watching my mom quilt and then watching my dad bring home weavings from Guatemala. Guess what? You can see that in my work.
Yes.
I don't know. Nobody else had my combination of experiences.
Yes.
And it's not the best, or, it's not, it's just my experience.
It's yours.
And it's just my responsibility to translate that. That's all I can do, is translate the weird tapestry that happened in my brain. That's it.
I love it.
That's all you've got to do.
I love it.
Yeah.
I want to ask a part B to that question based on your answer. Talk to me about, you talked about looking at your website and seeing all these collections, just sort of looking up and just being like, holy shit, that's a lot of work, right? Talk to me about, because that feeling doesn't go away. What you just said about the qualifying thing. You have to tell yourself that it's not like you tell yourself that once and then you're good.
Oh.
You have to keep telling yourself and so the volume of work that you've put out into the world,
Yeah.
and it's only just a fraction of what you're going, when it's all said and done, what have you learned from that? What did you learn the first time you looked back at that website and you were like, oh my gosh, look at all this work?
That just, I don't think it sinks in as deeply, because I know there's so much more, and that it will only get better. And I've resigned myself to the fact that I will never be satisfied. I will never think that I've done it, but I use that anxiety. I really do. I use that anxiety to keep going. And so I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I accept that part of the tortured artist spirit.
Yeah.
That will never be enough.
Yeah.
And that's fine, because it's fire. It's fine.
Well, that helps me.
It's fine. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
That's always how it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just use it. Use the darkness in my soul.
I didn't think I had anxiety, and I've come to accept that I do.
Oh yeah.
In the last 30
thing.
days.
Gotta have I recommend transcendental meditation.
I do. I meditate every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
yeah.
good.
I think that's what helped me to understand
it's the only thing.
That's what helped me to understand that I had anxiety.
Yeah.
I didn't know I had it until I started meditating, and then I was like, oh, that's what that feeling is.
Yeah.
Before I do.
Because then when it goes away and you're like, oh, what is this?
Right.
What is this wonderful place?
Oh, that's why I like to get so fucked up. Got it.
We all medicate.
Yeah. Yeah.
We just, the older we get, the more we're like, what healthy things can I medicate?
Yeah. Right.
How can I make that just fun?
Exactly.
And just medicate with healthy things.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's exactly it.
Exactly. Well, Amanda.
On that note.
Let's
go get a drink.
Hold on, it's right here. Is there anything that you wish we would have covered that we didn't?
No, just more about you.
We can do that at coffee.
Okay.
And these people, they're so tired of hearing about me.
I'll just come back and interview you.
Okay, we can do that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, Des.
We can make it happen.
Okay,
That'd
great.
be cool.
Great, we'll do that.
Okay.
Awesome. Well,
Thanks.
thank you so much for doing the show. All right.
You're the best.
Until next time, see you. Peace.